The first heat storm rolled over the salt flats like a living thing, blue-white lightning unspooling across the horizon as if the sky were tearing itself open. I was alone at the relay mast, up to my elbows in tangled filament cable, when the old ache woke in my bones, the warning pulse behind the ears, the fever in the chest. The season had found me a day early. Veshari. We plan our seasons the way humans plan winters. Stores laid in, kin called close, rituals ready. But the caravan had moved on after the tower fell silent. I'd volunteered to stay and fix it, and they had expected calm weather. Instead, the storm carved me out of the world and left me here, my blood rising like a second tide. The nearest settlement 30 clicks across open flats that were about to become a sea of glass. I packed the tools with clumsy fingers and made for the shed, vision haloed at the edges. The shed's lock wouldn't take my code. My hands shook. I focused, breathed, tried again, then a voice cut through the wind. "Hey, you all right?" The human stood where the ground began to shine with electric dust. He was lean, sun-browned, hair slicked to his skull by the dry wind. He wore a salvage rig's harness, heavy with coil and clamps, and his visor reflected me. Tall, gray lilac skin flushed darker at the throat, pupils too wide. He lifted his hands, palms out. "Name's Rian." I picked up the beacon. I swallowed against the heat. "The lock's jammed," I said. "Storm's coming. I can get it." He knelt, tools rattling, forearms corded with effort. The lock sputtered and died. He grinned without looking up. "Old thing's just shy. Give me a second." The ache doubled, blooming with a hunger that wasn't about food. The season is not just desire for us. It is a fire that wants to eat the body whole. We cool it with ritual and company. Breath shared, pulse matched, the presence of someone trusted. Alone it can turn feral. I pressed a palm to my own sternum. "Please," I said, hearing the tremor. "Hurry." The bolt clicked. We stumbled inside as the first sheet of lightning punched the plane. Rian kicked the door closed and through the crossbar. Dust hissed along the walls. He studied me, professionally not greedily, and his voice dropped. "What do you need?" The question wasn't obscene. It was merciful. I could smell him now. Copper and cedar, human scent braided with machine oil. The season magnified everything. "Water," I managed. "Cool." Then, I steadied myself. Then I must ride it out. With company. His brows knit. "Company. We match breathing and pulse. Skin contact helps." I forced a laugh that crackled like the storm. "It is not what you might imagine. Can be. It doesn't have to be." Rian nodded once, the way someone nods before lifting a heavy beam. He found a canteen and a rag, doused it, offered it to me. The cloth shocked, deliciously cold against my neck, my wrists. He moved without fear, but not without caution, as if approaching a restless animal. "Tell me how," he said simply. We arranged ourselves on the floor against a crate. I showed him our clasp, the Veshari way of laying wrists together along the inner arm where the big vessels run, like two branches aligning. His skin was warmer than mine. The heat in my blood recognized heat and flared. I shut my eyes. "Slow," I said. "In for 4. Out for 6. He followed. Our breaths braided. The storm pounded. The relay shed shuddered, dust sifting like ash. The first wave passed. Fue cooled. I opened my eyes and found him watching me, not with hunger, but with the focused attention of someone entrusted with a complicated task. Rian offered a crooked smile. "Doing okay. For now." Felt almost shy. "Thank you." We held like that while the storm howled and the old tower moaned. When the second wave rose, it came with a crack of thunder that shook a wrench off the wall. Panic rose with the heat, instinct urging me to run, to find pack, to not be alone. Rian's hand tightened on my forearm. "Stay with me." "In for 4, he said, counting with me, voice steady, anchoring. He guided my free hand to his chest. His heartbeat was fast but strong. "Match me," he murmured. "You've got this, Sarai." He'd remembered my name from the tiny ID badge on my belt. A small thing, but my fevered mind clung to it like rope. Sarai, said the beat under my palm. Sarai, said the storm. We rode out 3 more waves. Between them we talked, because speaking pulled me out of the body's roar. He told me about scavenging old satellites, about a sister who sent him recordings of rain from a green world he'd never seen. I told him about caravan life, the way our singers braid memory into the wind so the children can catch it, the way we paint our tents with a map of the sky. Through it all, our wrists stayed aligned. The old ritual held like a bridge over a river. When the worst had passed and the storm went from beast to background, I pulled away, embarrassed by the steadiness I felt in letting go. The heat had softened, still present but no longer a knife. Rian flexed his hand, rubbing the line our bones had pressed into his skin. "You okay to make it through now?" "Yes." Pause. The truth asked to be said. "Better with you." A faint light slipped through the chinks in the wall as the storm broke. The flats beyond were indeed a sea of glass now, the sky reflected in shards. We opened the door to wet, clean air. Rian squinted at the relay mast. Its spine bowed but not broken. He tilted his head toward it. "You want your tower singing again?" I laughed, light-headed with relief. "Always." We worked side by side, easy in the aftermath, passing tools and jokes. Once, our knuckles touched and the season hummed quietly. A friendly animal now, not a predator. When the transmitter finally thrummed and the green light climbed to solid, I keyed the caravan frequency. Voices answered, the blessed noise of many kin coming. Rian shouldered his rig. "Your people will be glad," he said. He hesitated. "Look, I know your seasons. Significant. I don't want to cross a line. But if you want company until they arrive." I stepped closer, close enough to see my reflection in his visor, close enough to smell the cedar again. "In our custom," I said, "we mark those who stand with us in the fire." I reached for his wrist and drew a short line with the end of an oil pencil. 2 strokes crossing, a simple sign. It means friend. It can mean more if both agree. He held my gaze, something tender and astonished there. "What do you want it to mean?" I thought of the count of breath, the steady heart under my hand, the way he had asked first and loudly asked nothing for himself. The season was still a steady pulse, a tide not yet ebbed. But choice, mine, stood like high ground in the flood. I lifted his marked wrist and pressed it gently to my chest. "For now," I said, "it means stay." The caravan's dust sign rose on the horizon, silver against the washed blue sky. We stood at the door of the repaired tower, looking out at the glittering plain. Behind us the transmitter sang. Before us the world opened. My season had begun, but for the first time in my life, it did not feel like a trap. It felt like a path, with company chosen step by careful step. Rian did not move away. He matched his breath to mine, once more, and this time not out of necessity, but out of promise.